Unc Beef, how you doing?
I'm good today.
You good today? Nick, what about you, Nick? We you froze on us yesterday, Nick. I had to kick you out
I'm,
and you didn't even know it.
I'm always good. It's a new day.
She said we doing a battle. Star eyes, y'all are so funny. Girl, we don't battle. I
Man,
don't even know how to battle, y'all. I don't even know what they be doing. Nick, you be battling people on these things.
I try not to.
Y'all know what? I'm gonna do a quote about money. How about that? Instead of specific, because we're talking about shopping, gambling, right? All right, Dennis. Here we go, Dennis. Money is a tool. Use it, but don't let it use you. Money is a tool. Use it, but don't let it use you. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a good one because um, I got to go back to where I was a year ago.
Mhm.
Um, I was on what I thought was the best pedestal of my life. I had worked with this company as a temp, and the reason why I stayed a temp because I have a gift with my hands, but there was a part of me spiritually that needed to learn how to be a different type of warrior. I'm a veteran. So I spent a lot of time fighting battles. Some of those battles were created by my thoughts. So God put me in a situation to allow me to become a little self bold. And when I say self bold, sometimes we can be bigger than we really are. I was um I was overconfident. I took the worldly man's voice, meaning not hearing God's promise. Man can tell you one thing and do another. So as I'm trying to make a transition from temp to full time, I trusted somebody and I let my guard down. They gave me the job. I walked away from the temp agency. The temp agency was temporary anyway, but I had got so I guess grounded with it that I spent 17 years with no benefits. So when I joined the company is one of the top 5 construction companies. They worked me 7.5 weeks and terminated me. And this is an at-will state. So I had to do something that I talked about but wasn't living. I had to trust God as a provider. I mean, He provided everything. My hands as a carpenter. My neighbor right across the street, I was able to rebuild their porch. Um, that was my income. But I lived until I completed that project. And because this project required other things outside of the carpentry, I was doing more than I was valued. But again, this was me trusting God. So at that point, when God delivered, He put the perfect job. That's when I went into the t-shirt company. And now in January of this year, the morning of the 8th of January at 5:55, I fractured my ankle. The Veterans Hospital was unequipped to take me because the whole city of Richmond was without water. I was sent to another hospital. They did a great job. The financial burden of that would have broke me if I did not have a spiritual background. The bill alone is $15,000. God had already put the resources in me right now. My bank account is bigger and stronger than it's ever been. We are now walking into March, and I have had to manage and move around and feed myself with the resources He gave me on compensation, medical compensation alone. It would have drove me crazy if I still did not have my faith. So when I talk about money now, I'm managing it because that's the case. I don't even know what it is, but I'm standing on God's word and I'm claiming it now. I'm tired. And that gentleman below you with the beanie on beef, that man pushed me. When them clots hit, he was right there on TikTok with me, pushing me. When they were trying to inject me with these painkillers, he was encouraging me. And I went through the last 3 days rejecting the painkillers. So I managed a lot of pain trying to breathe with a lung and a half. I'm telling you, that's how it felt. The two clots were huge. I had never dealt with that. I'm dealing with blood thinners. I'm dealing with not stopping at all. That's behind me. I'm in the healing process. My doctors are positive about me staying on track and doing these blood thinners for 90 days and being done. He knows what's going on with me. I'm not worried about it. He just wanted to make sure I was safe. And now it's time for me to move forward. And Dana, when I tell you, I love my brother on beef because it was a stop point for me. It was almost that pity party. I was mad. Why is this happening for me? Then I remembered something you said months ago. Why not? And that's my story. That's where I see money. Money is just a tool for me to use to keep going forward, not fall back.
Or strength to keep going, right?
Has.
Without a doubt, but you've known your spiritual. I mean, you've already shared this with us over the past year and a half. You've been on my live with me. Like, I feel like your faith has always been there. But like I feel like
it's being shaken. Dana, it is being shaken really hard right now. God is asking me, do you really believe in me? Do you really trust in me? Now I'm looking at it from its paper value instead of who the real provider was.
And that's where I feel like that's why I love this so much. I feel like it takes something not necessarily drastic, or I think it just takes an encounter of some sort for you to realize what role money plays, right? Way to look at when it does shift and how it shifts, right? Sometimes we have a humbling experience. Sometimes we have, it just doesn't matter. Somehow, some way that encounter is what shifts the way we look at money and what it means to us, right?
It did. It shifted minds because I've had to rely on Uber. I've had to rely on cabs. That budget is unreal, but it wasn't my budget. God provided that. He made a way forward. Plus, I had Unc Beef in my ear daily, not just once. He was there daily for them 5 days I was in that hospital.
Thank you for sharing that, Dennis. I'm so glad. Did you meet Unc Beef in here?
I did. He's been in my DMs. He's been in my DMs for over a week, and it's a beautiful thing because I enjoyed when I was working. I enjoyed Unc Beef because I always say to him, is it DJ? I think it's TJ. Him and both of them voices sound so much alike. But I finally met Unc Beef when I had that episode. He was right there. He was the one that told me you went back to TikTok because I couldn't find you.
Thank you so much, Unc Beef, too, for, providing that support. That's what this is about, y'all. It goes
It
first.
is.
I always say that network if you can. They're good, genuine people in here. Everybody's not out to get us. Thank you, Dennis, for sharing that.
And one more thing I want to say to everybody on this platform. Although her platform says promoting positive mental health, this angel right here is a hands up tool, not a hand out, not a hand in. Thank you, Dana. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You a sister from another mister.
Thank you, Dennis. That's so sweet.
Off track, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Unc Beef been crying too, Nick. Don't feel bad.
Thank you, Nick.
Can you believe I'm the one that's not crying?
I can't believe it.
Dennis, can you believe I'm over here like, my word is stoic.
I'm gonna get this short.